Well, in this podcast, I will talk about my development within my English skills. Introduction. Through this year, I have learned and increased my knowledge within the English subject. Many things have had an impact on the way I have obtained the information, especially the topics we have worked on during the English lessons. Moreover, the topics we worked on this year was the Vietnam War, humor, technology, the curious incident, which included autism, capital punishment, crime fiction, and grammar. Um, all these topics dealt with different tasks and texts which have implemented my development of my English skills. I would also like to mention that in relation to the work with literature, we have had the chance to work with many different texts and genres, such as statistics, novels, which included books, short stories, etc. Well, the topic that I would like to start with is the Vietnam War. By working on the Vietnam War, I learned in relation to the historical view how the American soldiers served in Vietnam as veterans to fight against the North Vietnam, which was at that time a communist regime. Furthermore, I also learned that the reason why the American soldiers went down to fight for South Vietnam was to support capitalism and to get rid of communism in Vietnam. Finally, the topic also dealt with a rhetorical analysis of Martin Luther King's speech A Time to Break Silence in 1967, where I had to compare the civil rights movement with the Vietnam War. In addition, the rhetorical analysis that included techniques and terms which I learned much about while working with the speech. Moreover, I also learned much about PTSD, which stands for Post Traumatic Stress Disorder, which was a disorder that especially veterans could experience when. Well, the next topic is humor. By working on the topic humor, I learned much about the different humorous devices and how they were used to support this genre. On the other hand, I also learned much about the philosophy of humor, which included the superiority theory, the relief theory, and the incongruity theory. Finally, I got the opportunity to analyze and point out humorous devices in the show The Christmas Cabaret and in an episode of a series called The Big Bang Theory. I also read many short stories which included the so-called humorous devices and philosophies of humor. The next topic is technology. In this topic, I had to work on a specific technology by own choice. I chose the technology SIGBOARD, where I learned about its structure and its mechanism. On the other hand, I also had to look further into the future implications of this technology, which include both positive and negative consequences. To sum up this topic, I improved my vocabulary within science and technology, which was noticeable in the virtual oral presentation I made, which was a screencast. I will move on to the next topic, which is the curious incident. I learned about a new disorder, which was the disorder called autism. The autism spectrum disorder was the main theme of the book called The Curious Incident, which I worked on. By reading the book, I got a broader understanding within the autism spectrum, and I also learned that the book could not be used as a handbook for the autism disorder, but instead used to express the life of an autist and show the autist's behavior in several situations. Well, the next topic is capital punishment. Working on this topic, I learned about capital punishment in America with focus on the different executing methods. Moreover, I also learned a lot about the advantages and disadvantages of the capital punishment, and I had read many statistics about people on death row and the distribution of the different types of people. Finally, the two words vengeance and justice did play a huge role within this topic in relation to the advantages and disadvantages. Finally, the last topic is crime fiction. In crime fiction, I learned much about how to solve mysteries by looking for some specific clues in the text. Moreover, I also learned about the theory within crime fiction, with focus on how the author builds up the mystery by using specific points from the theory. And as you can see here, we have the terms and theories, and we also worked with the novel called A Study in Scarlet by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and which we compared to the movie Sherlock. Oh, it wasn't a movie, it was actually a series. The last topic I would like to talk about is grammar. My skills within grammar has improved in this year, especially because I use Meetlang to both read about the grammar but also to work on the grammar afterwards. In addition, I feel that I have developed a broader understanding within grammar after working with Meetlang. However, I do still have some difficulties in grammar, but I have learned how to tackle them.